Hey, what's up, Fit Fam? Josh here. We're gonna go over November's Strength Club workout for you. So we'll pull our templates up here. You guys know the deal. We're gonna have two different workouts, workout A, workout B. We're gonna alternate every 2 days on these. So Monday and Tuesday will be the same workout. Wednesday, Thursday will be the other workout, and then Thursday and Friday we'll go back to that first workout again, and then in the next week they'll alternate the other way. So you can, you know the template. Most of you are familiar with the templates by now. You see all the things that we're going to do. We're going to break everything up into those groups and then kind of attack this workout one piece at a time here. So we have our, our kind of extension of the warm up there, if you will. We'll get some of that core work in here as well. And then we'll do some power development to get that heart rate up and get ready for our heavy work. And then this month, we will be working our supersets here, which is, two complementary exercises done back to back with this little rest in between as possible. And then you'll rest between supersets, and you're going to alternate between those supersets. So as you can see here on the screen, dumbbell bench press matched up with those dumbbell alternating overhead presses. As quickly as you can get, transition from one to the other. Then give yourself, 30 to 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. If you need that to recover, then you're going to go to your deadlifts and those split squats, and then we'll have our finisher sequence, if you will. Sometimes we have a little more strength focus on there, and you can see here with the chin-ups, the swings, and the sled, push and drag, pretty straightforward stuff. You don't have to do it fast. We're calling it a finish, but really it's just the last sequence of exercises for this workout. So we'll go back up to the top and go through some of these and show you what we're working on here. So we're going to start our workout with our hangs, of course, everybody's favorite. Great for grip strength, developing grip strength, shoulder mobility, and shoulder strength, and then also working those lats a little bit and the back decompression there. So I know that sometimes it can be challenging. It's 30 seconds, but you will feel better as you keep working these. And if you're struggling at first with these, the more you work them, the stronger you're going to get. I promise you will have to. You just have to have the right attitude about it. And we're going to match those up with our cyclist lunges here. So this is where we're going to use the slant board. You can see, you can also, I have my arm on the squat rack for a little bit of support there as well. So the goal here is to focus on pushing that knee forward. You can see I am bending that back knee, but it's not about lowering your level here, like lowering that knee down like a lunge. It's about pushing forward, trying to push that toe or that knee out over the toe, past the edge of that board as well, as far as you feel comfortable here. This is great for strengthening those muscles around the knee, also warming those knees up and working through, especially if you have knee issues here, just working gently on that range of motion. Now, the slant board is a little more challenging because it's lower to the floor. If you need to, you can also start with any of the boxes stacked up. Getting your foot on that higher level is actually going to make it easier for you to work the range of motion through that front leg. So we'll show you that during the session as well. And the coaches will be around to kind of encourage you here. But I know this one at first can be a little, feeling it out feels a little different than what people are expecting at first, because it looks like we call it a lunge. So people are thinking go down. We're thinking push forward to really work those calves, that calf mobility, ankle mobility as well there. So we'll get 2 sets of those in. And then the second group we're going to work on at the beginning is going to be our sandbag dead bugs. To get started here, you see Coach T here, feet up like they're on the chair. She's tearing that bag apart. You want to think about pulling those hands apart. It's not just about holding the bag up. It's about tearing them apart to get those lats engaged here, get that core working, pushing that heel away one at a time. Notice how she's taking her time. You can rotate those hands as well to get a little bit more core work in here and build some of that shoulder mobility and strength. You can also take that bag out over your shoulder to really challenge that core strength as well. Again, take your time with it. We're going to get 2 sets of those, and then we're going to pair that one up with our Pallof step outs here. So this is where we'll be using our bands here. You see Coach Cat with those arms straight out in front. So this is an anti-rotational exercise. We're simply going to add some movement to challenge that anti-rotational strength here. So holding those arms straight out, shoulders down and away like you're squeezing lemons or oranges in your armpits. Abs are walled up. And then as Kat's stepping out, she's trying to keep those hands centered with her chest here. So as you step away, you don't want those hands to stay and they have to pull them back over. as you're moving, nice and rigid. This is where we're going to try to develop that strength to support that core. So thinking about our core as like a girdle, those muscles around our core as a girdle to kind of really cinch that up, get those muscles working here so that as we go to our heavier work, those muscles learn how to engage as well. If you're feeling any sort of discomfort in your lower back or hips as you're working the payoff step out, just focus on that payoff press without the step there. So we'll get 2 sets of both of those, and once we get through those 4 exercises, everybody's going to be feeling warmed up and feeling pretty good. We're going to move on to some of our power development here. So this month on Workout A, we're going to be doing some echo bike and crawls here. So this is a good combination because on the echo bike, we're going to go for 5 calories. And I want you thinking about going all out here. Really try to challenge yourself. Of course, you are in control. If you need to go a little bit slower, depending on the day, that's okay. But tracking your time and trying to see how much time it's taking to get those 5 calories in, it's a great way to kind of mark some of that progress. And then once you're done with those 5 calories, you're going to focus on your breathing as you move over to the edge of the blue floor. And then we're going to crawl across the floor. You can see Coach Terry demonstrating those bear crawls here, opposite hand and foot, taking your time. Don't rush the crawls here. Focus on your breathing. Big deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth to really bring that heart rate down. And this is going to keep that heart rate up a little bit because it is challenging. But focus on really pushing away, taking your time. Notice out there, trying to keep that lower back nice and still. There are other crawl variations that you can do here. We have our side crawls. You see Coach Dia pushing those knees apart to open up those hips. Hands come together, alternating those 2. So you can side crawl if you'd like as well. And we also have like gorilla crawls, slider crawls. So there's a few crawl variations that you can work on these, whichever one you want to practice, but take your time and challenge yourself to do it well. And that's going to feel a little bit slower. No need to rush on this. And then we're going to get 2 sets of this in so you can give yourself some time to recover between those sets, usually 30 to 90 seconds to let that heart rate come down. Once we get our 2 sets in, we're all warmed up, we're ready to go, all those muscles are firing. We're going to move on to our strength training. Like I mentioned earlier, we have our supersets for November. So we're going to start. Now you can do these supersets in whatever order, but I have them listed here. The first one is our dumbbell bench press, matched up with the dumbbell alternating overhead presses. So we're going to work that flat bench. Focus, we got 2 dumbbells. We're working both arms at the same time. So we're going to keep it simple so that you can really challenge yourself with the weight. Squeeze, press those dumbbells up, deep breath in. Remember, we're trying to pull them down. Think about keeping your wrists over your elbows here, so it might feel a little wider with your hands than you might be used to. That is going to help you feel stronger when those hands are in tighter than the elbows. Then you're having to move that weight in another direction before you can even really press it up. So focus on that form there. 5 heavy reps. A good place to start for most of you, if you were working with us in October, is for that alternating weight for 5 reps. Start with that weight. It should actually feel, for a lot of you, it's going to feel maybe slightly lighter than your 5 rep weight. That's okay, because now we're working both arms at the same time. Great place to start though. So as soon as you're done with your 5 heavy reps on the bench, you're going to move to your dumbbell alternating overhead presses. So you're going to grab 2 dumbbells, wall up those abs, grabbing your shoes with your toes, reaching for the ceiling, 1 arm at a time. So take your time. We're going to build some muscular endurance here because we've already worked some chest and shoulder. The overhead press is a different angle, so it's going to work a little bit more shoulder, but we're going to be working some of the same muscles here. For this one, if you were working with us in October, I would say go a little bit lighter than what you were doing for 5 reps to get started, because you can always take that weight up and find out it's a little too light. But the second exercise is always going to be probably a little bit lighter than what you could do if you weren't doing another exercise before. Because these supersets, the first exercise already exhausts the muscles a little bit, and then we're going to take it to the second exercise, so we have to accommodate or adjust for how we were feeling from the first one. So you'll get a set into those, and then you're going to give yourself 30 to 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes to recover. Then we're going to go to our deadlifts and our split squats or rear foot elevated split squats. So you can work your kettlebell deadlift. You can also work the trap bar. We got Coach Matt here. It's a nice flat back, chest up here. I would like to see Matt tuck his chin just a little bit more at the bottom, but not too bad. We just don't want to crank our necks. Don't be thinking look across the floor. Think about looking down at the floor about 8 feet in front of you, so we're not putting too much strain on that neck here. Drive through those heels, squeeze those glutes nice and tight at the top. We want those shoulders and hips moving up at the same time. We got Coach T here with our kettlebell deadlift. So again, for some people, this position is easier to get into than the trap bar. We have heavier kettlebells, so you can still challenge yourself there. You can do a double kettlebell deadlift like we work on in boot camps as well. But we're going to go for 5 heavy reps here. So you want to find that weight that is challenging for 5 reps here, provided that it's also key. You're feeling comfortable in that lower back. Make sure you get that grunt going to get those abs walled up to protect that lower back right before you drive up there. So we're going to do 5 heavy deadlifts, and then we're going to go to our split squats or rear foot elevated split squats. So you see here, we have that 90-90 position down at the bottom. I'm pressing forward pushing back through my front leg, pushing forward through my back leg. See how I keep that heel off the floor. Even as I get to the top here, to keep pushing myself forward, glute squeeze nice and tight. Some of you can. Some people feel comfortable pushing their heel down to the floor at the bottom, get a little bit of a stretch of those calves, so it's really up to you, but I want to see that hip engaged so we're not rotating through our hips here, pushing forward through the back leg, back through the front leg to keep those hips stable. Deep breath. Push that air out as you drive up here. We're going to do 5 on one side, 5 on the other. You can also work that rear foot elevated split squat if you're so inclined and you have the stability there. Here I'm using the bar with my foot on the bar, which is I like to use the bar here or a TRX because then I don't have to worry about my foot on a box. This is a little bit more comfortable to work through that range of motion. Still thinking about taking that knee down toward the floor. And as you'll notice here, as I'm going down to that lunge, I am leaning slightly forward. I'm trying to keep a straight line through my shoulder, my hip, and my knee on that back leg here. Not as important if you're not holding weights, but if you are holding some weights for this exercise, you want to have the right posture so we don't put too much pressure on that lower back. This one will work those glutes and quads. So you're going to feel these, whether it's the split squat or the rear foot elevated split squats. We also have the suspension trainers that you can use for your feet on these. And if you haven't done that one before, please ask, we're happy to show you. If you haven't done the rear foot elevated split squat before and you're interested in and you feel comfortable with your split squats, please just let the coach know. We're happy to show you. It does take some stability on that front leg though to make sure that you're able to do this safely, get the right form in, because I would much rather you err on the side of doing the exercise that you're sure you can do well before. Now there's nothing wrong with trying something to see how you do, but just don't force it. Make sure that you are doing the first variation of the exercise really well. That means that you're probably more likely to succeed at doing the second variation as well, but we're always happy to coach you through those as well. So we're going to get 2 to 3 sets of those in the first week. We'll probably just get 2 sets in weeks 3 or 2, 3, and 4. Everybody knows the routine a little bit more. Most of you will have more time to get a 3rd set in, but it is going to depend on how you're feeling, because even 2 sets can be a lot of work there. Then we're going to finish up with our chin-ups, swings, and sled push and drag. So again, real simple stuff. For the chin-ups, by now most of you know, I like to have these in as much as we can into both workouts, simply because it's something that's nice to practice on a daily daily basis. But for some of you, this is going to be the only couple days you're going to get to really practice these. So we're going to go for 5 to 10 reps. Again, if you can do 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, don't stop at 5. If you can do 9 or 10, consider making it heavier so that you can challenge yourself a little bit more. But it's really going to be based on how many reps you can do well. So it's not about making this hard. It's about doing them well and then challenging yourself with the toughest amount of weight that you actually can do well. So we're going to do 5 to 10 there. Then we'll do 5 or 10 kettlebell swings. If you're going to work those dead stop swings, chest up, and we're going to swing it, park it. We have Coach T doing our repetitions here where she's going to sit back on each one, playing chicken with that bell, drive those heels into the floor, pushing that air out as you're swinging, trying to stop it right here. I like to say belly button height because that's where most people will have it about level with their shoulders here. Nice and controlled, deep breath. It's a very explosive exercise, so you want to really focus on like you're trying to throw that kettlebell across the room, but you're going to use those hips. Notice her pull those kneecaps up, getting those legs nice and straight at the top here. So either 10 repetitions or 5 dead stop swings, and then you're moving on to the sled, push, and drag here. So just driving that foot in the floor, tear up that carpet. You're going to push that sled down to one end. When you get down there, grab those suspension trainer handles, stay nice and low, chest up, shoulders back, toe to heel as you're dragging here. Now weight-wise, You can make this heavier if you'd like, but you want to make sure that you're still moving smoothly with control. You don't want to go with a weight that's going to slow you down so much that you have to stop and take deep breaths to get it going again. I'd rather you go lighter and make it faster as opposed to too heavy where you're, having to slow, almost like that staccato like rhythm. You want to be able to smoothly move down and back with that sled. After you've done those swings and chin-ups, a lighter weight's going to feel great because it's still going to get your heart rate up, and you get to focus on really moving well. We're going to get 2, possibly 3 sets in, depending on who has the time or who has the desire as well. But 2 to 3 sets to finish up, and then we're going to bring it in, break it down, and finish that workout up. So that's workout A for November. I'm really excited about it. I think it's a lot of simple yet effective stuff that we can implement. Remember, the goal is to focus on challenging yourself with the range of motion and your movements. Make sure you're moving well, and then the weights to match up with what you can do. Challenge yourself with those heavier weights. When you find that weight that for 5 reps is tough, you're going to be getting stronger when you're working it, okay? Okay, so that's our workout A for November. Let us know if you have any questions, guys.